From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, November the 27th, 2024. The ceasefire agreement between Israel and terror group Hezbollah in Lebanon took effect at 4 a.m. local time today. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office last night saying Israel's Security Cabinet in a 10-1 vote approved the U.S. proposal for a ceasefire arrangement in Lebanon. Israel appreciates the U.S. contribution to the process and maintains its right to act against any threat to its security. Also saying that Netanyahu spoke to U.S. President Joe Biden last night after the president's announcement of the truce and thanked him for the U.S. involvement in achieving the ceasefire agreement in Lebanon and for the understanding that Israel maintains freedom of action in enforcing it. And the IDF said today that its troops are stationed at their positions in southern Lebanon. Israeli forces have 60 days to completely withdraw from the country, according to the agreement. During that time, the Lebanese army will gradually take responsibility for southern Lebanon. The IDF today arrested 4 suspects, reportedly Hezbollah members, who approached IDF troops in southern Lebanon. The suspects were interrogated in the field, the IDF said. Israeli troops also fired warning shots in the air at several others trying to approach villages in southern Lebanon in violation of the ceasefire terms. There were no injuries. The IDF saying it is deployed in southern Lebanon and will enforce with fire any violation of the ceasefire agreement. Before the truce went into effect, the IDF said that 70% of Hezbollah's UAV stockpile and most of the cruise missile inventory of Hezbollah's aerial unit were destroyed yesterday. And that last night, prior to the ceasefire coming into effect, Israeli Air Force fighter jets launched a comprehensive airstrike to dismantle Hezbollah's aerial unit terrorist infrastructure, eliminating, it said, the chain of command of the unit, including the head of operations who commanded the launch of unmanned aircraft and cruise missiles toward Israel. Israeli troops, meanwhile, continue to battle terror group Hamas in Gaza, saying today that Israeli troops raided a building previously used as a school following intelligence information about terrorist activities there. And with the Hezbollah truce in place, hopes for a ceasefire agreement with Hamas. President Biden saying today, yesterday's ceasefire brings us closer to realizing a future I've been pushing for my entire presidency, where the Middle East is at peace, prosperous, and integrated across borders. Over the coming days, he said, the United States will make another push with Turkey, Egypt, Qatar, Israel, and others to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza, with the hostages released and an end to the war, without Hamas in power. Israel's President Isaac Herzog saying today, I believe with all my heart that the settlement with Lebanon opens a window of opportunity for the return of the abductees. We must not miss any more opportunities. We must to act even more strongly and with all our strength, with determination, creativity, together to fulfill our highest duty, the return of our abducted sisters and brothers in Gaza. Well, families of hostages still held by Hamas in Gaza temporarily blocked the entrance to Netanyahu's Knesset office today, demanding that he meet with them about promoting a hostage deal. And families of American hostages still held in Gaza released a statement today just ahead of Thanksgiving and marking 1 year since the release of some of the hostages last November. They wrote, after 418 days, 7 American hostages still remain in Gaza. Our Thanksgiving tables will have an empty chair again. Yesterday, Israel and Hezbollah brokered a ceasefire deal, which comes 1 year after Israel and Hamas negotiated a deal to pause fighting and release some hostages. While we are encouraged by the ceasefire deal in Lebanon, we ask ourselves, when will our children, parents, sisters, and brothers come home? We cannot allow their chairs at our tables to sit forever empty. We urge President-elect Trump and his transition team to work together with President Biden and his administration officials to bring 7 Americans, Omer, Idan, Judy, Gad, Keith, Sagi, and Itai, and the additional 94 hostages home now. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, November the 27th. At 7 o'clock, David Harris speaks with former Knesset member and best-selling author Einat Wilf about her perspectives on Israel post-October the 7th. At 7:30, the American Thanksgiving menu gets an Israeli twist as president of the Shalom Hartman Institute, Yehuda Kurtzer, and Rabbi-Chef Nissimmi Naim Naor collaborate to create a unique holiday meal. That's also coming up at 10. At 8, Jonah Platt speaks with co-owner of the Minnesota Vikings and chairman of the Jewish Agency for Israel's Board of Governors, Mark Wilf, to explore Jewish identity, sports, and more. At 9, Jeffrey Gurak is on L'chaim. At 10:30, an encore of the news. And coming up next, it's Thinking Out Loud. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, November the 27th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. I will be back with the news update on Monday after the holiday weekend. Wishing you a happy, healthy, and safe Thanksgiving, an early Shabbat Shalom. Am Yisrael Chai.